Hello and welcome to Thoughtbot's AI in Focus. I'm Chad Pytel, CEO and developer at Thoughtbot, and today I'm joined by, in person, live in London, by Jared Turner, senior product manager. Yeah,
that's right.
At Thoughtbot. So Jared, you live in London.
Yep.
And I'm here visiting clients, and you were generous enough to meet me in person to explore an idea that I know you had, I have had as well, around using AI to automatically fix exceptions in our Rails apps. We're going to start today using Sentry, which is the product that we use on most of our internal applications. It has these features built in. And then we're going to see what if we don't use Sentry, what is some workflows that we might be able to put in place. The feature in Sentry is called, before we get started, if you have any questions, comments, etc. along the way, we're monitoring the chat. So feel free to help, especially if we get stuck. It's always helpful. And if you need someone to help with your Rails application or to build a new web or mobile application, that's what you can come to Thoughtbot for. You can check us out at thoughtbot.com. Okay, so we have up here on the screen Sentry. You can see that this is Hub, the web application that we have shown on the stream before, that is our internal scheduling application and communication application. We've got a fair number of exceptions in Sentry here. We try to keep an eye on any actual errors, but actually right now we have a fair amount of noise. Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons why it would be nice to have something like this in place, right? Because if things are being fixed automatically, sometimes it's hard, or I should say, sometimes it's hard to prioritize something that comes in, it's not an actual error. So you don't worry about it right away because it's like not causing a problem. It's not an actual error. It just happens to be an exception that's happening. And so if those can be cleaned up, then it will be easier to spot the actual errors.
Yeah. It's like inbox zero for your errors,
right?
The ultimate goal.
Right. So, speaking of which, I was looking at the log, and here's one. So when things happen in Hub, we post to a Slack channel, like messages, notifications, that kind of thing. And there is a channel not found exception being thrown from this job here. I actually don't know why this is happening or what channel it's trying to post to that it's not finding. So my nature is to try to figure that out and know what the problem is before fixing it. But I guess in the spirit of, I'm wondering if we can see which. I don't know what channel it's trying to post to. That doesn't appear in the thing. Do we want to look at the code, or do we want to just let Seer do what it does?
Maybe we can try and see what the magic Seer does first.
Sure. So once you upgrade your Sentry account and add Seer to it, I think currently it's $20, a minimum of $20 a month. Mm-hmm. You get this find root cause button, and I can see when I loaded the page, it sort of did some stuff on the right hand side there, and showed us the thing. Okay, cool. Audio's working fine. I had like a panic that we never checked the mic settings.
We've got green.
Okay, good. So we click the find root cause button. So if you haven't done these things before, I guess you have to set up the GitHub integration, pick the repositories to work in, unleash automation.
There we go.
I think we're going to skip. So what it does is automatically deep dive into incoming issues so you wake up to solutions, not headaches. I think we'll skip that for now, right?
Yeah.
And we'll just do it. Actually, well, let's skip, and then Seer scans all your issues and highlights the ones that are likely quick to fix. Star the recommended issue to keep an eye on it. Okay. Okay, so we start Seer.
Give it a go.
Okay. So this is the first time that we're using Seer. I literally just added it to the account right before we get started. So I'm coming in fresh here. I have no idea what it's actually going to do or whether it's going to fix this problem. So
I did like that it allowed you to add context before it started working if there was something you knew about the issue that could help it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In fact, it looks like you can interrupt to give it that context as well.
So, this is going by fast, but I think what it's showing me that it's doing is it is looking at the code base. And it says the inbound opportunities channel is the most likely culprit since it's used for every opportunity notification. So this is why I was confused about what is causing this error, because the Slack channel to post to is hard coded in the code. And so the idea that it couldn't find it was confusing to me. Slack job failed because a hard coded Slack channel, likely inbound opportunities, was invalid or inaccessible. This jumps out at me. Slack responds with a 200 OK, but indicates channel not found.
Do you know, I assume that channel does exist?
It does exist, and it does exist. Yes, I'm sure it does. It's interesting to me that the response is 200, but indicates the channel not found. That's interesting. So let's click on find a solution and see what happens. Again, I think the real value here is probably not doing this, but instead automatically having it do this.
Yeah,
on any
across
issue.
many issues.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think this is valuable for gaining confidence with that. So what it's suggesting is to implement error handling to gracefully handle the missing inaccessible Slack channels.
So I guess that's useful, but also imagine you're thinking, but why is
this channel that we know exists? Why is it? Let's just go. I can't help myself. Let's go over to the code and look at the. Oh, I've got some stuff open here. So let's look at the new opportunity notification. So this is, this is where it's actually happening. And then, okay. I don't know what this is. Is it possible? No, I mean, it said it was the new opportunities channel was not found, right?
I think so.
If we go back to the issue, I don't want to close this here, but can I close? Do you think
I reckon you can close that and reopen.
Channel not found. Oh, so now I'm starting to suspect. I don't know that we ever did see that it was the new opportunities channel. And so now that I look at the code and see that there's this other channel being posted to, if we go over and look at our Slack channel class, why isn't it finding it?
Slack client?
Oh, Slack client. Yep. What was it? Channel for source. So this is looking up from a constant. This is probably where the error actually is. So, okay, so we have this functionality. The memory is coming back now. What this is doing is we have a blog channel and a podcast channel.
Mm-hmm.
And if a opportunity comes in where the person said, how did you hear about us? And they say blog, we wanted to celebrate that in the blog channel.
Gotcha.
And so we're supposed to be cross-posting that to that channel. Is that Slack channel blog and podcast?
It's definitely blog.
Okay.
Podcast, I'm not in, but I can check that. Podcast?
It's podcasts with an S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the interesting thing is that because the exception doesn't include details about which channel wasn't found, Sentry didn't have the context to find that problem, I think. That's which is too bad. Because if that exception included details about what channel, it might have been able to find it. So let's can we go back? Remember, we could provide context to this.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's a way to give feedback and rethink the answer. I wonder if we were to say, like, the channel not found is the podcast channel. It's not going to know that the actual channel name ends in S.
No.
Okay.
Unless we give it access to Slack, but
yeah, we probably don't.
That's for the future.
Okay. Good to know. So, well, let's see what it's going to do is implement error handling to gracefully handle missing inaccessible Slack channels. Let's code it up. Click on this code it up button and see what that actually looks like.
Okay.
So it's looking at the
Another interesting thought with these things would be, given we didn't have the context in here to know what the channel was, like, I wonder if you can prompt it or provide instructions to say, like, think about what extra logging or metadata we could add so that future errors are more useful. And that's not so useful for this, but it might be useful for other production issues.
Right.
You can't work out, like, why it's happening and you need to add more logging.
Well, so it is saying Slack channel for source returns blog or podcast for certain sources. So I noticed, closed. So it adds a rescue for that, and it's just logging it to Rails logger, which not great. It's funny because the way I would actually do this is we should add Sentry context of the channel, which is a feature that Sentry has, so that the exception would say which channel didn't exist. But it didn't use Sentry. It's just reusing Rails logger.
Can we reprompt it?
Yeah, I think we can probably give feedback and rethink the answer. Should we just say add context for Sentry of which channel was not found? I do think I'm sort of like we know what the problem is. So the solution here is not going to fix the problem. It's not going to get us to fix that podcast to podcasts right away.
Yeah.
What it is going to do is make it so that the next time this error happens, it says what the channel is, which will then make it easier to actually, would highlight what the actual problem is. We probably still want to add this rescue.
For future channels we might add.
Right. So here it's setting the context of the channel, the opportunity. It's doing more than we asked for. It is nice because then you could say, oh, this is the source, and it's trying to map to that channel, and then it captures the exception. It changes the scope level to warning. I actually don't know what that does. Do you know?
No idea.
Okay. So it looks like we have two options here. We can draft the PR, or we can check it out locally. Enable write access to create branches. enable write access to create pull requests. Do I not have write access enabled? Well, let's just see what happens. Let's draft the PR. Okay, in order to create pull requests, install and grant access to the Sentry Seer app in the following repositories. I think this is probably okay to do on the stream. Only select repositories. Okay, Sears was installed on the Thoughtbot account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's go. Okay. Let's go twice.
Yep. So the interesting thing about this flow is that while Sentry has this functionality to stem from the exceptions, it also has the functionality to just create a GitHub issue for every new exception that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And GitHub has GitHub Copilot, which you can assign GitHub issues to. So that's one, when we think about what these flows are and the different tools available to us, that would be another option. Even if you didn't want to use Seer, you could have Copilot looking at the issues itself. So the pull request is open now. So it says likely inbound opportunities was invalid or inaccessible. I like that it says who triggered it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so CI is running. Let's look at the actual fix again. So what do we think about this?
It probably doesn't need the logger and the
Right.
Sentry context.
Right.
And then I imagine if we started using this quite a lot, you're going to end up with quite a noisy code base with all these contexts scattered everywhere.
Yeah. And oh yeah, no, we're in a loop here, so we need the begin, right? We can't just assume the begin. Or actually, no, on a block in Ruby, you can do that, right?
I think so.
So what do we... so the nice thing about GitHub Copilot is that you can leave comments and it will take them into account and make revisions.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we're going to get that with Seer.
It said something, not quite right.
Oh, continue here.
Okay, so it brings you back to Sentry.
I don't know what to do. Do we rethink the whole answer?
Yeah, it seems like that's the only option. But yeah, it would be nice to just comment on one particular bit.
Let's see what happens if we do that, just in case. Yeah. Okay. So so the linter found that this begin block is not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm as good as the linter is. Trailing white space. Okay. Use 2, not 4 spaces for indentation. I didn't notice that. Boy, there's a lot of linter things on here. I didn't notice them when we were looking at it. It must be like empty. Yeah, so this is tough because we want to give this, we want to start a feedback loop here, but there's no feedback loop between these linter things and sear.
Yeah.
Well, let's comment here and see what happens. We don't have like sear, right? Yeah, okay. To Sentry. What do you think about just sending it to Sentry? I don't know who we're asking that to, but it is sear by Sentry. Well, it should be, if it's at all doing this, it should be notified about the comments on its own GIP pull request. I'm not optimistic that that's going to happen.
No, it's not showing anything.
Yeah. I wonder if you can, if we assign this pull request, if we ask Copilot to review this pull request.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. AI v AI.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It adds Slack channel notification failure, starting channel not found exceptions, wraps the yes, comments suppressed due to low confidence. Okay. So it looks like, I was wondering whether there is an option once, like to have Copilot continue a pull request, but it looks like that's not, like to take over and to do it. Okay, so if we were going to use this functionality, we would then need to check out it locally, I guess, and continue ourselves. I think that is where we're at, unless you see something else.
No, I think that's about right.
Okay. And again, in the back of my mind is the fact that while this prevents these errors in the future, or provides more context to make it easier to find the problem for these errors in the future, we still have the actual problem outstanding, which is there's a typo in the channel name.
Yeah. And it just can't know that, or it doesn't know that context.
Right. Now, hopefully, if we were to make this change and deploy it, then it would have the context. But we haven't actually fixed the issue yet. Okay, what do you think? Should we... Actually, what if we continue to use this error as an example and explore using Claude Code to fix it?
Yep.
Since we sort of have the context about this thing and where it sort of broke down a little bit in terms of being able to write the code that we would want it to write and to be able to fix obvious linting errors. Okay. Cool. Take a sip of water.
Hydration is important.
So, okay, so we have our exceptions here. I don't know if it matters that there's a pull request open. Probably not, since the branch name has Seer in it. Okay, so what do we do?
I guess we can either run Claude code locally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess for folks that don't know it, Claude Code is an agentic model by Anthropic. It runs in the terminal as opposed to being integrated.
Right. So you can start it in your terminal.
Yeah.
Or you can. Yeah.
Yeah. And it, yeah, when you run it from within your repository, it has access. You give it access to all the code within that. So it has or can gain access to that context. And then so we can.
I also noticed, because we installed it right before the stream, so I've never used Claude Code before. So we installed it right before the stream, and then when we started it in our VS Code terminal, it said, "Oh, you can." I'm running in like VS Code mode, and I'm able to see the context of the tabs that are open and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it gives you a nice diff to show when the code changes are there as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess the simplest version is to run it here, run it locally, and then in order to do that, we need to give it context of that error.
Yeah.
Maybe a first version, we just copy and paste some of the information from the error.
Okay.
But later on, we'd probably want to move towards trying to automate that.
Right. Okay. So I actually was wondering, is there a way to...
Or like an export.
Yeah.
Need to authenticate. Oh.
Public link. Let's actually look at what that looks like.
That's not bad. It's not quite. It's not the full information, I don't think. But it's got the stack trace.
Yeah, it does have the full stack trace. Okay, let's see if we can use that. I'm assuming Claude Code can look at a URL, but I don't actually know.
It does. It'll go off and retrieve things.
Okay, so what do we say? Fix this exception. Bewitching. Okay, so it's asking for permission to fetch the content. Sure. I'm going to say yes. Sock hopping. Is that random? Or does it say the same thing every time?
But I see some of the same.
Okay.
But I think there's quite an imaginative list there.
Oh, it says it required content.
Maybe it's LLM generated, actually.
What is it doing?
It's doing lots of things. So you see it's going off.
Yeah, but why did it say that the page required... It seems the Sentry link requires authentication or the content isn't publicly accessible.
Oh.
Let me search for recent Sentry-related errors or exception handling in your code base. So it went off and then did its own thing without actually looking at the error.
Yeah.
So how do we stop it?
It's Control C.
Okay.
Let's see.
Stop it. Okay. So I wonder if Sentry has like blocking. Okay. That makes sense, actually. You wouldn't want any search engine to index those pages, probably. So even if you weren't blocking Claude Code specifically, you probably don't want these to be indexed. So we can copy as Markdown.
Oh.
That's nice. Do we need to like clear context or something from Claude Code?
You can do. It just helps if we have a long running issue.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't what I thought the copy as markdown code would be. So it just copied the URL as markdown. Okay. Never mind. Let's go back and see if there's another way to.
Potentially, one thing it does not bad. You can throw images at it, so we could take a screenshot, but it just depends if it's how much it's going to read.
Yeah.
Or we could just copy and paste some bits as well.
Yeah. It's actually sort of too bad that it doesn't give you the option to like get a thing in your clipboard with information about this.
There is a copy to clipboard there.
Where?
Right on where your mouse is.
Oh.
But I'm not sure what a copy is.
Copy issued to clipboard as markdown.
Ooh.
What is that?
So it's just it represents what is going to be pasted.
Oh, it was still like in the middle of. Now I can see the exact issue. Okay, let me implement proper error handling. One thing I noticed is I don't think Seer said what models it uses under the hood in any of the flows.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
So I wonder whether it uses Claude or something.
Yeah, it would be one of the big ones, you'd assume.
Yeah. Okay, so the issue is the job fails completely when a Slack channel doesn't exist. I need to add error handling so the job continues with other channels. Let me first add error handling to the Slack post method. Do we just want to say yes, allow edits during this session? Sure.
And you see it says auto accept edits on. Bottom there, you can shift tab to cycle through if you want that on or off.
Okay.
It has a normal mode, a planning mode, where it will just tell you what it's going to do before it does anything, and then the auto accept mode, which is YOLO mode.
This is interesting. It's doing a completely different solution. And it also just occurred to me that Seer definitely didn't write a spec for this issue. And it would be, if I was doing it, we would certainly write a failing spec first, then implement the fix. Where is it at? I sort of lost the thread here. Error editing file. There's no information about what the error is. That's interesting. So it did notice that there was a spec for this job. We want to. It didn't modify the. Oh wait.
I guess it's just testing it doesn't broken anything.
What is it doing now? The tests are passing. Let me also run the Slack client test. Okay. So we could probably prompt it to write a spec for.
Yep.
Changes made, post new defensive programming. Okay. So what it did was it added a nil check to skip to empty values. So at this point, it has edited the things, right? So if we open up here, that's interesting. It added empty spaces when it added the line. So it added a thing here to skip if the channel's nil. But I don't see the other. Oh, it added in Slack client, not the new opportunity notification.
Okay.
which is interesting. I guess it makes sense that the Slack client itself would probably capture the exception. This was existing code that we already had.
Mm-hmm.
But it's completely silently okay. I don't like any of these solutions.
So now we'll never know about it,
right?
Unless we check the logs,
right? Okay. Right. Add a failing spec before. Now I wonder whether, because you can write global instructions for Claude, right? Claude code.
Yeah, there's a Claude.md file.
And we're actually working on those. You can go to thapa.com, thapa/guides on GitHub, and we're actually working on a set of. I wonder if we had that in place, and it said things like always write tests, those kind of things. Whether it would have done these things automatically before for the issue. And then what was the other thing I said? We want to log the error to Sentry. Log the error to Sentry with context of the channel that was not found. Combobulating. It's fixing the trailing white space that it created itself.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Did it run a linter or something to find that, or did it just?
It just says first, let me fix the trailing white spaces. I don't know. Okay, when a Slack channel is not found, it logs the error to Sentry but continues processing other channels. So it's pulling a lot of context from the other specs for this. It's interesting that it's putting a spec for the new opportunity notification, but the actual catching of that exception and handling of it is in Slack client. Allow Slack client to receive post with the new opportunities channel. Allow it to receive post with invalid channel and raise. So that's setting it up so that when it gets that invalid channel, I don't know how it's going to why would it ever be posting to the invalid channel in this? You know what I mean? Because we have the new opportunity notification, inbound opportunities channel is hard coded.
Yep.
The other ones are coming from that hash of source mappings. So now let me see that. Okay, so I don't know how this is actually going to test. But we need to propagate the error context. Let me update the Slack client to include Sentry logging with context. You know what? I don't think that that's the syntax for add it. I've never seen that syntax before. It's possible that it is.
What does the GitHub PR show?
You want the GitHub PR or the changes that are being made locally here?
The PR that Sia created.
Oh, that's Sia.
To compare it.
Yeah. So what it did was this set context is what I know about to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And you can either do it with the scope thing, or you can, there's another syntax where you can just basically be like, hey, Sentry, I'm setting this context and it's going to be sent along with any next exception that's sent. So you can do it out of the scope. By putting it in with scope, it's only going to be this exception right here. This is the syntax that I know of. So this whole extra thing. So it's asking to run the tests again. And again, I suspect that it hasn't written a test that actually just is failing because the mock expects a different signature. Let me update the test to handle the new context parameter. Where is it at now, Jared? I don't know what it's doing. It's
trying to fix this failing test, but it might be. Sometimes I found it can get stuck in a bit of a loop or down the.
It's like merging this context here to capture exception. It's now passing in context to the post method. So it's trying to use this new functionality that it did, but there's no, like, all we care about is the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's asking to run the test again. They passed that time. The existing test still passed. Now let me trace through why the exception is still being raised. I think the issue might be that I need to stub the methods that the job is actually calling rather than using anything. I see the issue. The mock is raising the exception in the test, but my code is not actually calling the real Slack client post method. It's calling the mock, which raises the exception. I need to let the real method run and catch the exception. That actually might be correct. So it's removing the stuff it did before. Okay, so the test pass, and now it's going to run all the specs to make sure they pass, but there's other failures because it modified that code to have that context. I guess.
And I guess trying to add that context to the client when it's specific is oh no, I guess there could be other things that are trying to use that client that might have a missing channel. So maybe that does make sense to put it in the client.
Mm-hmm. Yes, maybe. The interesting thing about that is that let's search for channel not found. I think we might have a place. Nope. Message publisher. So there's other functionality for posting messages to Slack. And here we can see that, it's not when the channel doesn't exist, but what happens is if this here tries to post to an archive channel or a channel where the bot is not in, it will rescue that and completely ignore it. That's interesting, because that's not what I thought it did when it's not in the channel. So I bet we're doing. I don't know. I guess it's just failing silently, which isn't great. I thought it was sending a notification to somebody or like putting it in another channel, but I guess it's just not doing that. It might be nice if it did that. Do that. Okay, so I want to look at the so we have this, which we still think is wrong. Oh, and so it added the context there because it's hoping to pass in the opportunity ID.
But yeah, I guess the seer has been trained or is given like a pre-prompt of knowing about the actual the format of how you set those things.
Right.
Whereas I suspect we probably need to give that advice to Claude.
Okay, and now I understand how, in my mind, I was thinking it was adding this test to opportunity notification. That's not the case. It's adding it to the Slack client. And so it can pass in an invalid channel to the Slack client and expect to get that back. I don't know about this extra thing. Okay, so we're in a spot now where I wouldn't.
You don't want any of this code. I think like one of the lessons I've learned from this sort of thing is that like the LLMs are great, but they work well with the right context.
Yeah.
So the fact that Claude doesn't know this, like you can't just take it out of the box and have it really produce good value for you.
Yeah.
Part of what we need to do to get this working well would be to build up like the Claude MD file to explain those sort of things. But that's something we need to build up over time.
Right. And we also potentially have this thing where the code being written isn't actually doing what we want, because it would, that extra parameter being passed in is a hash of, and that might not fail, but it might not do what Claude thinks it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how to, I guess we could go over to our browser, Sentry Ruby client.
Context.
So that is going to give us, that thing. Additional data is deprecated in favor. Set extra. Sentry used to support adding unstructured additional data via set extra.
But was it today?
It wasn't. It was just adding extra thing. If we go to the actual Ruby client and we search for capture exception. See, at this point we've spent, this is usually the case on these streams because we're investigating things. So we take an extra time to really look into it. and understand what's going on and all that stuff. But we've like, not only were we not actually fixing the acute problem, but we've now spent way more time on investigating it than we otherwise would. So I don't see, Sentry capture exception. Instance. That's Raven instance. What the actual? That's Rails. Rack controller methods.
What are you looking for here?
I'm looking for I wanted to see whether, I think it's here. I wanted to see whether we could look at the code for the actual capture exception method and see current client, hint, event from exception, options, hint. I'm not seeing anything about extra there. So I think maybe when set extra was a feature of Sentry, you might have been able to pass in that option of extra, but that's not the way that it works now, and it's been deprecated. And I don't think that's a recent thing, because I've never seen that other way of doing it, and we've been using Sentry for a while.
Yeah, okay. So the curse of training on old data.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to try again with a different exception and see if we run into similar kinds of things?
Yeah, if we can find a nice one. I think we're seeing that it's not like the magic wand that we'd hoped on all exceptions.
Yeah. So let's see what jumps out at us here. So here's one. So this one has happened 658 times in the last 3 days. And was last seen 32 minutes ago. There's no way it's going to be able to fix this problem. Okay, let's take a look. So we recently added I have the context that we recently added a validation to a model to make name. It used to not validate presence of name.
Gotcha.
So the Freshworks API may be returning incomplete contact data, specifically missing the name field, which then fails active record validation. That, I think, is correct, because what it means, so the field, our CRM has data in it which does not have names, because it's not a required field in our CRM. But Hub maps that contact record to a contact model, and we just made that required. So contact updates are coming. There's a webhook being fired that says, hey, this contact changed. Here's its information, and name is blank.
Gotcha.
So Hub goes to save that, and the validation is being failed. So this is correct. Freshworks API is putting in contacts that don't have names. So I know what the fix that I would do is. Let's click on find root cause. And I wonder, should we provide...
It depends if you'd just be giving it the answer.
Right. I'm trying to think of what I would tell it if I didn't know what the answer was, but still wanted to be helpful. The error originates from the contact update. So I'm curious whether it, yeah. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, and then while that's going, let's go over to the exception again. How did we end up getting? We got copy to clipboard here. Okay, so okay. So, we just exited out of Claude Code, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to start Claude Code, you say Claude. That, I guess, starts a new context.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, great. So we have this exception. Now this time I'm going to say implement a test for the failure, and then make the test pass. Finagling. Okay. Oh, we can see what it actually pasted there. Yeah, so that's good. It is like the whole
that's nice
thing. Okay. So it's looking at the context model, the contact model, sorry, and that those updates coming from our webhooks that are then processed by a background job called contact event processor. So it found that the problem is in the contact event processor, line 100, where contact update is called. This issue occurs when contact first name is blank or nil, causing the name to be set to just the last name stripped, which could result in a blank name if both are blank. That's correct. Looking at the contact model, line 13 shows validate presence of name, which is causing the validation failure. That's correct. Let me add a test that reproduces the issue. Love it.
Cool.
Okay, so it handles blank name validation when contact first name is blank. So it's doing, on the webhook, what's coming in is nil. That looks correct to me.
And what's it expecting on? Just to not raise the error?
Yeah, although it is an exception because it's calling that implementer, the contact event processor is calling save bang or update bang on it.
Okay.
So it's throwing an exception when any validations fail. So I like by simply saying write tests first, it's not even implementing the solution now. It's just trying to get a test that fails, which is a much better way to go about at least understanding what's happening.
And it ran the test to check that it failed as
well,
which is quite nice.
Right. Okay, so what it's suggesting is this. No, that's not what it's suggesting. Update. Oh, it's showing us the diff up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if contact last name is present, then set the name to just the last name dot strip. So what it was doing before is if contact first name present, update the name to be first name, last name, strip.
So that assumes there's either a first name or a last name.
Right. This is interesting because this is going to fail because it's not going to pass the test.
Yeah.
So let's run it and see if that happens and then what it does. Oh, it's asking to run the test. When you use this, do you set it to run test automatically?
Yeah, there are certain commands that I'll say,
Yeah.
run that again without asking.
Okay, so it did fail just like we thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's both first name and last name are blank, no name. I need to either skip the update entirely when name attributes with a link or provide a default name. Let me look at how contacts are typically created to understand a better approach. Here's what I'm hoping it's going to find, and it did. It did find it. Oh wait, no, that is not. I thought it found something else. What it's doing is if the name is totally blank, then setting it. Oh, that's interesting that it's checking contact.name.blank. That's not.
Yeah, that's.
It should be
from the params, right?
Yeah.
We'd expect that to fail then.
Yeah, true. Okay. I'm going to say yes, run bundle exec rspec because
should be safe to run.
It passed.
Why is it making more changes?
So it's finding and it's finding the contact at the end of the spec and making sure that the name was set to unknown contact. So
it passes because the contact name is
blank.
Blank, yeah.
So when it gets to that point, it stops checking what's being set and instead checks what is set.
So it could just be an else then, rather than an else if.
Right, exactly. Like that. That's why I think that if isn't needed on that else, because if it gets to that point, yeah. This is I don't know. Open changes in video suku. Okay. I'm gonna have it make the change. I think it's gonna run the specs. Yeah. Okay. Let me also add a test for when we have a last name but no first name. Uses last name when first name is blank. Okay. So whisking, I'm wondering after it does this, whether I can point it in the direction to find. So it's running the linter now. Bundle exec Rubocop. The interesting thing is we don't use Rubocop on this project. We use standard.
So this is something again. I guess we could add to the memory.
No, and tell Claude what to do differently. This project uses standard as the linter. Okay. Yes, to proceed. Levitating. I guess, I mean, having some whimsy. I love whimsy in applications, but yeah. Okay, adds comprehensive tests. So I like that it passed. It ran the linter once we redirected it to standard. There's none. Okay, so we can go back here. I mean,
So if we're proven that there's no first name or no last name, then we could just else that. But I'm also curious.
I'm realizing this is actually, so the reason why you might want to do that is then you're not overwriting an existing name with blank, with unknown.
Yep.
So if the existing contact already has a name, then it doesn't overwrite it, which actually makes a lot of sense now that I realize what it's doing. But it's not obvious of why it was doing that to begin with.
Yeah. Although it will override if it's in the first two parts. But I'm curious what your approach would have been for this.
So I want to ask, is there already a strategy for dealing with unknown contact data in the app? Lollygagging.
So it must use an LLM to come up with those words.
Yeah,
I suspect.
So yes, there's already an established pattern in the app. Looking at the search results, I can see that the app uses opportunity unknown value as a standard way to handle unknown data. Perfect. The app already has a consistent pattern for handling unknown data. I should update my implementation to use opportunity unknown value instead of the hard-coded unknown contact string. That is what I was hoping that it would do.
Cool.
I was actually hoping that it would find that without even prompting, because it's sort of, it used unknown contact. I thought maybe it would come out when it was like grepping the code for how to handle it. Okay, so it's changing the spec to look for unknown value. So I do like this better in theory than Seer, because remember Seer, we completely lost that feedback loop on the pull request once it was opened.
Yep.
But there's no automation here. Although you can, does Claude have like a sort of background agent mode now, right?
Yeah, so you can set it up to run like Copilot, so it can hook into GitHub and like automatically run based on workflows, either like do a code review on any new PR or whatever we want it to.
Yeah, so widespread, this pattern is used in multiple places: contact name handling, infrastructure services, which is where we're already using it, opportunity data. We're using that in UI views. So if it ends up that there is something that we wanted to display, but it's just not there, we show unknown. And we also have a bunch of things where the data includes the value unknown, but we look and say, hey, we're about to do something. Does this equal unknown? Then consider it blank.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now by setting that to unknown, it will like we on the contacts database every 3 months we re-enrich data that considers unknown values as blank, so that it can be like, oh, I should overwrite this value if I can find a different value. So I think that this one got closer to what I would actually consider the correct solution. We still had some, darn, that's too bad. We accidentally still had changes from our prior, we never created a branch for it either. Let's just, and just overwrite. Oh. I'm just checking out the files. We didn't touch this for the. I think there's probably a few other. I don't.
Not sure what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I assume. Oh, you know why? Because I did npm install inside of this directory for Claude Code originally, and it must have updated some packages. But we use Yarn on this project, so it probably like got a little bit. This is just Tailwind stuff. I think I would be inclined to. There would be no harm in dropping that change. Okay. So it handles blank validation when contact first name is blank. It uses last name when first name is blank. Where's the... Oh, it actually had a bunch of stuff. Why are they showing as a... Oh, we've... All I did was git checkout package.lock. But the only things that were showing up as a diff were a couple of those things, right? Or
the Tailwind changes.
So I noticed it didn't have a spec for... Oh, maybe that spec was in a different place. We got distracted by it. Yeah, so there's no spec for this unknown. I thought it had written one. Did I miss? Oh, okay. Oh, so when first name is blank. Oh no, it's because this spec actually isn't just when first name is blank. It's when first name and last name are blank. Then it goes all the way to the unknown value. Okay. So that doc string is wrong.
Yeah, when...
Accidentally. Contact event process. So that is correct. And then we have the other spec when last name uses last name when first name is blank. That's correct. Okay. It's interesting. There's not a spec for when first name is there and last name is blank, but okay. I'm not actually sure of the value of that spec.
Both of them, or
no,
adding the third
adding the third one.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be like the other specs do pass in a name. So like we've already got coverage on like that first code path from the other specs. So I probably am fine with that. I don't know about these package. Why is there a package lock and
yeah,
that's the problem.
When in doubt, check out.
So yeah, so we can get checkout yarn.lock. And now our diff is just the clean things there. Can we have Claude Code write a pull request for us?
Yeah, it'll do that.
How do we do that?
You can say git commit or commit this for me.
Commit and open a pull request for this change. Ruminating.
It'll add a co-authored by Claude Code. There are settings to turn that off if you don't like it.
Okay, so git add, those are correct. Topsy-turvying. Okay, git commit, handle cases where FreshBook Webhook provides blank contact names, which was causing active record invalidation. That looks fine. What is it doing for the body? Yeah, okay. It's probably just truncating it there and not showing it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's creating a branch even though it's already working on a branch. I think that's okay. So GitHub PR create. Hexing. I don't want my code hexed. Okay. So changes made. X adds comprehensive tests. Okay, so now we should have a pull request on our code here. And CI is going to run. Okay, so I can envision because Claude Copilot can also read GitHub issues, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So if Sentry was just creating GitHub issues, then we could either assign that to GitHub Copilot or we could use Claude in that mode too.
But I think we'll find the best results will be when we give them some overall guidance.
Yeah.
Like more than just the files, actually some explain how the application works and some sort of tips.
Mm-hmm. That being said, like we did get better results with Claude, and we were able to keep a feedback loop.
Yep.
Which we lost with Seer because there was no.
Did we check Seer's
we never checked
for this one?
Yeah. We never went back. It stopped at finding. Okay, so contact name update fails because it founded it, preventing the name assignment. Let's click on find solution and see what it does. Planning out solution. And then one thing we've explored on the stream before was we basically had Copilot do the GitHub issues for exceptions.
Yeah.
And what we saw then was it got pretty good results. It was not any. We kicked that off, and then I went and started to solve it myself. And then we went back and compared, and like it wasn't terrible, but like we found today, like it just needed often like, oh, what about this? Like comments on there.
Yeah.
So both Claude Code and Copilot give you that feedback cycle because you can leave pull request comments and it will go and fix it, or you can do it in Claude Code. Okay, examine Freshworks job contact event processor. Fix the name assignment logic to handle missing blank contact name. Yeah. So add a failing spec for the problem before implementing. One thing that's not clear to me is, can Sear run the specs?
Yeah. I think the answer is no. Actually, I don't know.
It looks to me like it's just doing code generation. Mm-hmm.
I'll proceed with the original task to fix the issue without generating tests. It's opinionated.
Mm-hmm. It is generating a test.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to arrive at basically the same solution as Claude Code did. Oh, I saw something different in there that I wasn't expecting. So let's see. Okay. Yeah, so it's using let to do these webhook parameters, which is not what I would want. But I can see why I can't see why it's doing that. I was going to say, I can see why it's doing that because it's written 3 specs that all do that, but blank contact names without raising validation error, handles contact name fields without raising validation error. These 2 specs are exactly the same. It's duplicated. It did arrive at this preserving the existing name. So this happened when we were doing the things on the stream with exceptions on the stream before. Like most of the time I would get the solution. It would be slightly better than what it was. But when we were doing I forget exactly what the detail was, but there was one thing where it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's one thing I didn't realize while I was doing it. It's unrelated to, like, it doesn't fix the error, but something was caught that I wouldn't have otherwise thought of.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so not overriding the existing value if it's blank is something that I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
But it is better. So, I don't know how to strike the balance though, because I wouldn't want to manually do this for everything. And maybe that is where Sear running automatically, you're not going to actually use almost anything that it does. But by looking at it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that is the problem. Here's how I'll do it.
That's how you start. Yeah.
Or, oh, that is the problem. And here's this one interesting thing about the solution that I wouldn't have otherwise thought of.
Yeah. Yeah. Rather than starting from zero.
Mm-hmm. I could also see that it could also potentially completely lead you astray. Like if it's proposing a solution which is not actually the problem.
That is a different solution.
It is a different solution. It's using... Oh, well, that's a clever thing. Is if the name is blank, then instead of using unknown contact, give it the option of using the first part of the email address, titleized.
Oh. Yeah, very clever.
Yeah, it is clever. Maybe a little too clever. Um,
Yeah, it'll just be hello.
right. And then it falls back to unknown contact. So it didn't find that unknown was a special value in the app. So let's. I wonder what this checkout locally is, because remember one of the things was the feedback cycle that we lost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be able to do.
Oh, okay. Create to branch.
Oh, I see. Okay, so then we would go over our editor and we'd check out that branch and we'd be able to continue it locally there. And then it added a draft PR. Oh, sorry, that is going to draft a PR. Mm-hmm. Now it just opened it. So that, I guess, is how we get the feedback loop going. But at that point, we're not on Seer at all. Yeah. We would go over and we would check out that branch, and then we'd use Claude Code or whatever to do it. Okay, well, this is an interesting exploration. One, I had never used Claude Code before, so it's good, to try it out. I've mostly been using GitHub Copilot, and there was nothing that jumped out at me that I didn't like. I do think that the GitHub Copilot though seems to be pretty good as well, and you can set it to Claude as your model. So
nice. Okay.
And the linter. Similar problems as before. White space added, that kind of thing, and again, no feedback loop. So you've really got to get into your editor to address that. What do you think, Jared?
I think it has potential, but also it can maybe save some time on some easy things, but you can also waste a lot of time trying to investigate what it's done, or maybe the wrong rabbit hole that it's trailed down.
Right.
I think out of the box, it doesn't work as well, but we didn't do it so much today. But I think when we add those sort of like cursor rules or Claude memory to it, I think you'd actually over time get much better results.
Yeah.
So there's that slowly building it up to get more value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you all for watching, and we did see your comments and your support along the way, so we really appreciate it. If you are looking for a company to help improve your existing application or design and build a new web or mobile application, Thoughtbot's where you come. You can go to thoughtbot.com and check us out and get in touch with us there. And as usual, we stream on a variety of different topics, but on Thursdays, we do this AI in Focus series where we look at new AI tools, techniques, or implement features in our Rails apps or other apps using AI. So if you've got ideas for future topics, we'd love to hear them. Feel free to drop them in the chat or comment. And it was fun to do this in person. It's very different.
Definitely.
Thanks again for working with me. As I mentioned at the top, I'm visiting London. We have a whole team of people and clients who work in Europe, Middle East, and Africa at Thoughtbot. So we're not just working with US companies and US team members. So definitely get in touch, and we'll be back next week. I'm working on, in terms of topic for next week, what I think we're going to be doing is we've got a few different places where we can summarize something. And so we're just going to be summarizing some information using embeddings and summarization. We've done that on the stream before. We've got a few different techniques and places that we can use that. And so I'd like to give that a try. Jared, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. Cheers all.
Bye.